Guys, I'm going to be 100% honest with you, like right up front. This may be more of a rant. We're gonna try and stumble upon something that resembles a tech tip, but I gotta get this off of my chest. All right, so here's what will hopefully become your Tuesday morning tech tip from Pugliese Speed Shop. So anybody that's been watching the show for a while, and for sure anybody that knows me like personally, knows I got some pet peeves, right? We all do, right? I tend to take mine to a new level sometimes, and that's just because I'm passionate about it, right? So, a couple of the big ones, right? People that don't use turn signals, special place in hell for you, okay? People that park in handicap spots when they're not handicapped, yeah. People that can't do their jobs, people that are just entitled. The list goes on, guys, but those are probably the top four. Who does a top four list? You know what? Another pet peeve. People that can't come up with a top five when they're doing a list. Come on, guys, really? So, I had one of those weeks, all right? If you guys watched last week's video, you saw we got the wrong part, and I was pretty pissed off about it, but I let it go. It is what it is. It's just the way of the world now, because there's no accountability. There's a number 5. Replace that with the previous number 5 where I ratted myself out. And that's just, guys, we come to accept it. And that's ridiculous. We shouldn't. We should not. Like, I don't know why we do. I guess it's because we're tired of getting pissed off, or it's just easier. I don't know. Maybe that's why we went to self-checkout. We just do it ourselves because nobody else can figure it out. Can you tell I'm in a mood? All right. So we're going to sit down. And we're going to talk about a couple things that has pissed me off to know. And I got it, guys. Oh, man, imagine that. This dude's pissed off about the way of the world. Oh, okay, boomer. I'm not. Gen X, all right? Barely even made it into Gen X, if I'm being honest. And, that's another thing. What a terrible insult. Okay, boomer? I don't get it. I'm going to sit down. All right. I think I figured out the best way to sum up my week. And I'm going to have the kid throw a little clip in right here. And anybody that's anything like me has felt exactly like this.
All right, you can scan the code.
Why?
Because the code takes you to the app.
That's 2 apps today. Yeah, got apps for everything, Even though I'm already talking to the person that could just take my order right here, but I got to download an app, right? How about this? I have cash. You have tea. Why don't we just streamline things?
We don't take cash, though.
Yeah. How about cards? Take cards?
Yes.
Oh, great.
But there is a $10 minimum. There's no minimum on the app, though.
Sorry. It's it's not your fault. You didn't create the system. The system is just, it is what it is, and we're both victims here, so.
What?
Nothing.
All right, so you see that? That actually happened to me. I was at Tractor Supply, and I was like, they asked me if I was a veteran, and I said, yeah. They said, oh, you want the discount? I said, yeah, who doesn't want a discount? So he said, okay, you got to download this app, and he gives me a pamphlet or whatever, a flyer, whatever, how to download an app. So, bro, I'm right here. Just hit the button, Oh, you got to go onto this other website and ID me, and then that'll put you onto our app. And I was like, bro, I'm just going to pay full price. I don't have time for your shit, all right? Now, I got to the truck after paying full price for everything because I was like, yeah, I don't have time for this. So the guy comes out. I'm actually talking to a buddy of mine, and the guy comes out to the truck, and he's like, hey, man, I showed you, you declined this. You didn't want this. Let me help you out. Let me make it right. I said, yeah, whatever, man. They were trying to sell me this warranty. It was a whole thing, right? So I was like, whatever, dude, sure. So we go inside, and I don't know what he did. I'm pretty sure his cash drawer didn't add up at the end of the day, which is probably something he didn't know anything about because nobody pays with cash anymore. But he gave me back a bunch of cash, and I think it was more than I spent on the item. But it was a whole thing. He was super happy when I left. He gave me a handful of money, so I guess I wasn't pissed off. But he tried. He did try. So there's, guys, I'm trying to get a little positive, but we're about to nosedive again. So I'm like, okay, whatever, right? Then I was come home, and I'm working on the truck. I got the wrong part. I was right there, too, guys, if I had known this a little earlier, because I was actually in the parking lot for the auto parts store I got the wrong part for. So then I was pissed off about that, right? And then after that, I'm talking to my mother, which that didn't piss me off. She's a wonderful person. Right? That was not the problem. It was what she was dealing with was the problem. Her car was in the shop, right? It was about to go in the shop. They looked at it. They weren't sure if the warranty covered it, all that kind of stuff. And people don't know their freaking jobs. This guy keeps telling her he needs to charge her more money for diagnostic, which they already did. My brother did it. He had a code reader and he saw the numbers and he took care of it. Hey, this is the problem. Fix this. But these guys are not mechanics anymore, especially at the dealerships. They're technicians. And they tell you, I'm a technician, which means I will look at this app or I will look at this code reader and it'll tell me to change that part. I will change out that part. I don't know what that part does. I don't know why it does it. I don't know what it does with the other parts, but I changed it. So what do you want me to do next? They don't know how the system works. And we've bitched about this before, guys. But that's the world we're living in, right? So he keeps saying diagnostic, and my mom's like, I'm not paying for this. He wanted like $800 before he could even tell her what the problem was. On top of the one, I was like, nah. So I called the guy, and I said, bro, what are you doing? Like, let's talk about this. And he's like, trying to explain, well, I don't know if you understand this. I said, are you a mechanic? And he said, well, no. I said, well, I am, so I promise you I understand this. Better than you, right? So he says, yeah, I didn't really understand it when the mechanic told me either, which he actually told my mother too. So I'm like, Madonna, is this a guy for this job? You don't even know what the guy that's working the car is telling you. And he don't know shit. So like, what are you doing, right? Well, we talk it out. I stayed calm. I don't know how. Somebody was looking down like, hey, relax, guy. And he kept saying diagnostic. He's trying to say troubleshooting. So they had to get the part out to make sure that was bad because the warranty company wants to see it and see pictures to see because it was extended warranty. Some of those aren't the best. This one was something my father made sure was taken care of. So good job, Pop, And it worked out okay. But here she's getting aggravated because this guy doesn't know what he's saying. And it happens, right? Which is exactly what happened with this part, right? The guy, I brought it back, and he says, oh, man. He's like, oh, he was actually talking trash, which was awesome. He's like, these guys can't get this right, man. And I knew he was the friggin' chamoke that sold me the part. So I said, no, apparently not, man. He's like, God, I can't believe they can't get this right. I said, yeah, some people just don't know what the hell they're doing. Maybe you should stay home, get maybe a new line of work or something, right? So, and he's digging it, man. He's going, yeah, these guys suck. I got to deal with these guys all day long. So then he's like, all right. He pulls it up in the computer and he's like, oh, man, I'm the one that did this. I said, I know. And he's like, man, I'm sorry. And I was like, I said, you know what? It's refreshing that you're upset about it, but it's mind-boggling that you kept going. And I mean, I got it. He deals with a bunch of people every day. He's not going to remember me. But he had no idea what it was great. He dug himself into this hole. He's like, I'll figure out what I did wrong. I apologize. It won't happen again. That is good. That's accountability, right? He's got it. And like I said, I've dealt with the guy a bunch of times. We kind of like, no. So hopefully it won't happen again. He'll try harder. That much I promise you. And then I told him, hey, man, I didn't have the part. So he's like, yeah, but you shouldn't have to have the part. He's 100% right. So dude owned it. There's your tech tip. Be accountable. But guys, what do we do about the rest of this stuff? I mean, I'm a little fired up because I just was over grabbing something to eat at the Wawa, right? And I come out of there, and it's like rush hour for Southern Maryland, which is actually probably worse than LA and like Manhattan put together because you got a bunch of idiots that don't know how to operate a vehicle, and they're trying to. Guys, it's rough. The area is not designed for the volume right now. It's the problem. But I got this I'm coming around the corner. I decided to go a different way to not go against the grain. I'll go this way, take this back road, and I'll be out of the way. Well, as I do that, I come around the corner. Some chick comes flying out, don't even look, and just goes, right? I got to cut over a lane, and I lay on the horn. She looks at me and gives me the, like, what's the problem? I have no idea. It's like, you stupid son. You know where I went, right? They don't even know. They don't even know. And it kind of, I guess the guy at the parts store, he didn't know either. The guy at the dealership my mother was dealing with, he didn't know. Who knows? That's the question. So, do we got to make interviews harder? Not just, I get it. People are hurting to get, for help in a store, so they just hire anybody, whether they got, some of these people that are at the auto parts stores and the dealerships and stuff, would it be the equivalent of me working at like Best Buy or like being on the Geek Squad or whatever? I don't know what the hell I'm doing, guys. I don't even edit these videos. The kid does, because I'm a computer idiot. All right. And I say that, but honestly, I think I do know more than half the people that are doing this shit. So it's like so frustrating. Like people just, they get put in a job. They don't care about it. It pays the bills. They do it. Nobody's going for their passion. Really, I think I hit on the head when I said people don't care. Why not? No accountability. I deal with it at work all day, every day. I watch a bunch of friggin' trying to keep it somewhat PG, but it's a frickin' circus, guys, right? And it's frustrating because I've done some of the other jobs that I see these guys failing at, and I'm like, dude, it's not hard, right? But they continue to fail. And they don't even know it because they're not held accountable. It's like we keep coming back to that accountability, and I think that's where I have a hard time because, guys, I was an idiot growing up, dude. Most of my family could definitely, vouch for this. Me and my brother did everything wrong. We were always out fighting with each other or somebody else, tearing shit up, doing what we did in the 80s, right? Just out having a great time. But we got home. Oh, my old man held us accountable, all right? And so did my mother. I watch a statute of limitations is probably gone. She smacked my brother with a pizza box for talking back. Where has that gone? What? Me and my other brother trying to get the pizza. Oh, it was a whole thing. It's usually on the television right now, like, there was no pizza in there. There was. But we were held accountable, right? Which is why I think it frustrates me so bad that we weren't. So, really, that's what we got to do. So next time somebody screws something up, instead of just like walking away and fixing it myself, which we're going to have something coming up on the Tundra about that too, I'm going to politely and professionally talk to them and tell them why they suck and how they can suck less. I'll probably use different words depending on how the conversation goes. But guys, there's hope. There's hope. And shout out to the guy that was standing next to me waiting for his sandwich to get ready at the Wawa. He was there with his kid. He was probably 10, 11 years old. And he saw my shirt, right? One of the fry burgers, right? He's got a couple of them out, different firing orders. Obviously, I'm a GM guy. So the kid saw my shirt and he's like wondering. He's like, I hear him tell, hey, Dad, what does those numbers mean? And he says, that's a firing order of a small block Chevy. And apparently the kid kind of knew a little bit about cars, and the fact that the guy knew off the top of his head, he's probably a car guy, right? So I kind of look over, he's like, yeah, he asked. And I was like, yeah, that's cool, man. And he's like, kids today don't know it. He's like, and it was cool. Like, he expected the kid to know it. That's kind of how it seemed to me. He's like, because I said, well, yeah, everything's coil packs, right? He's like, yeah, just plug it in and forget about it. Nobody cares. And I was like, yeah. He's like, not this one. I said, no. He's like, no. He's like, he knows how to time a motor. I said, my man, you know what? He's doing things like LS swap the world, right? We got it. But like, seriously, these are things that they're going away. Like, hot rodders know it because you like the old school, whatever. But guys, if I see, especially on these OBS pages I'm on, everybody thinking about LS swap, thinking about LS swap, thinking about, to where I don't ever see an LS going on this because I cannot possibly stand to hear another one, So the fact that this guy knew this off, good for him. And he was a little younger than me, right? So that's good to see. And then he told his kid, who was significantly younger than me, what it means. And then he actually explained it to him as we stand there in line. Instead of sitting on his phone and like, shut up, kid, or whatever, he sat there and explained to his kid how timing works in a small block Chevy. And I was like, that's awesome. That's what we need to be doing. Put your freaking phone down after you watch this video and hit like and subscribe and stuff. And talk to these, the younger guys, younger kids. You got to start young. You know what I'm saying? So he's doing the right thing. Shout out to him. I appreciate that. We did the same thing with Andrew coming up. My old man did it with me. Whether you're like my brother Anthony is not a huge car guy, but he can figure it out because that's how we were raised. So accountability, guys. That's the word of the week. The word of the week with 2 E's, not the, you know what I'm saying. All right. And I think I'm going to go up to the house and relax, maybe like make a little mixture of some whiskey and some Coke or something like that, and forget about the week I just had. But don't forget about the lessons you learned. Thanks for watching, guys.